Hi guys, it's Keisha Henry with New Beginning Healing Institute. Happy Friday, happy Friday. I'm so excited to, be doing this video today as I promised. You probably hear my voice. I'm losing it a little bit. I've been talking a whole lot all week, especially from our group last night. By the way, a little warning. It happened. So the roosters, I have roosters, guys. I have chickens, and I finally got a couple eggs this week. I'm excited. So as I continue this video, if you hear that, it's for real. I do have roosters and chicken in the yard. I think I've been talking a little bit about that, but if you happen to hear the noise, that's what it is. Okay, so let's get back to the women's group. So last night was really exciting. Why? Number one, it's our first time putting on or hosting a spring women's group. Typically we do it in the fall. That's significant, not because of us, but because of you. So from our last few groups, we've heard that we should do this group twice a year. So we actually stepped out on faith and we did this group spring, which started last night. And we're always amazed at the women who come. It's just amazing. I cannot explain. If you're not there, I cannot put it into words. I can't quantify it. But the women who come, and the overall theme is that we want to feel better about ourselves. We want to feel better so we can function better, so we can live better. And so that's a big desire for the women who've come to this group, as in they've done in prior groups. So that's one of the things that really amazed us last night, is to realize that this group has impact, it has reach, and women are coming. And so there's room still for you. That's the first thing. The second thing about that was powerful for me in the group last night is to learn how the women are finding out about the group. So one of the ways that they learned about the group was through other persons who have attended the other groups. The second way they're finding out about that is just simply typing in what their needs are. And that need, right, is about to feel good about the self, the esteem of the self. That's really critical. And so just a little sidebar here too. I mean, there's a lot of research out there that talks about the impacts of a woman not having a self-esteem and how that really, affects their productivity. And you don't have productivity, that's costing in a lot of other areas of your life. So having a healthy self-esteem is important. So I can understand then the importance of the group, and so can they. So the third thing that was important about the group was last night, and I think is most important to share with you, is how the group started out last night and what you can expect if you were to come to subsequent sessions. So it's an 8-week series, and so last night was the inauguration night, if you will, or the inaugural night of the 8-week series of our spring group. And so the most important thing we covered last night was confidentiality, because obviously we want to create a safe space, a place where persons feel safe to come and to share at their own pace and to share what they wish. So creating, and of course also that's the main ingredient to having this group, is that it's going to be and always will be a space of safety. Another thing that was important in the group is that not only we have those existing rules, but the women who came, they're able to also formulate and create their own set of rules for how they want to interact with each other. And that was amazing too, because they're also owning the space and also making sure it is safe for them. So we really enjoyed that. That's another important piece in the group last night. The third piece that's equally important then is the foundation, the psychoeducational piece that is weaved all the way through the 8-week series. So psychoeducation in this group is important. Why? Because without education, which brings understanding and realizations, then there's no integration for the person to become that better self, to have that, highly esteemed sense of self. So you need the education in there. And I really, reiterate that, given the fact that coming to a group that just allows you to, what we call word vomit, or just to spew things, is not the best way for you to grow, because we understand that when you come to a group or any kind of setting that we have, we know that the real change that you see will take place outside of the group, outside our treatment schedule. So this is just more like, a petri dish, if you will, where things get started, but then you finish it outside the group. And so we're very excited about that aspect of the group, this education piece. So more about that. So last night we started looking at the foundation of the self. We understand that self implies others. Like when you came out, you know yourself because you're interacting with mom, looking in her face, or dad, or looking at persons, so you know that you're a self, right? So self implies others. So we began to look at, that formation of the self, the configuration of the personality, the parts to it that goes into the self, and those parts then, how they affect the esteem of the self, how you feel within the self, and how this self begins to show up, as you matriculate through life and even in the present moment. So last night we took a look at, we had different exercise and activities, that allow persons to begin to think about, their personality and how they view themselves in the world and how they view themselves in their settings. And so last night was really critical, at least that's what we're hearing, and that it was very thought-provoking, the activities that, we had, the questions that were asked, and the feedback from other persons. And it allowed the women to see that although that they're unique to themselves, that their backgrounds are similar, and how we have one ego, but it's shaped differently by the cultural pieces that persons bring to the group. And so we had a chance to really take a look at, we'll begin now to look at the personality structure, the constitution of it, and taking a look at the different parts of the personality and how that really shapes the self and how that shaping affects the esteem of the self. So I hope I gave you a little bit of an insight. Can't give too much because it is a confidential group. But I wanted to give you, number one, again, the overview as to how the first group went. What happened in terms of the structure of the group and what you can expect. So what can you expect in session two? Session two now, we're going to pick up on the formation of the self again, and then since we're beginning to have an educational understanding about the formation of the self and of the personality and the objects and persons who influence, the personality and shaping of the personality. Now we're going to take a look next week at the interactions of personalities, the interactions of other persons external to us that help to shape our personalities and that actually help to affect the esteem of the self. So we're well on our way for our session next week, and we have a few more slots open, and so this is an open group. If you're looking to attend, you know how to reach us, and we're very excited. Thanks guys, and talk to you again next week when we provide another update. Happy Friday. Bye guys.